This is Matt Russell, and welcome to the DailyFX Forum.
So here are the four pairs that I will be discussing this evening: the Euro Pound, the Aussie Kiwi, the Pound Swiss, and the Euro Swiss. So let's go ahead and pull up the charts. The first chart is the Euro Pound. If you recall, during yesterday's report and the report before, I mentioned we might look to get short at least halfway up the candle wick here of the long doji candle. Prices did make it to that halfway point and then subsequently reversed a little bit. So hopefully you were able to get an entry in there. Right now, I would not enter at the current location. Again, I would need an entry at least halfway up that candle wick, and we're going to place our stop above the high of that doji candle, which is 92.98, so maybe about the 93.10, 93.15 area for our stop. The next chart is the Aussie Kiwi. Not much has changed here. I mentioned yesterday we've had a few tests of the lower channel line here, the lower support of the channel, and we can see that prices did leave behind a long wick, but again, as prices are hugging the downside here, I really don't like this even to have a slight bullish bias at this point. I think in my experience, the more times the line is tested, the more likely it is to fail. So I think this lower line will fail eventually. The only thing is I can't see any favorable risk-reward setups. We're going to just have to wait for a close beneath the lower white line. The next chart is the Pound Swiss, and again, this is like the inverse of the Euro Pound trade, trying to get long against the low of the doji candle here. We can see prices during yesterday's session did come down towards that midway point, so maybe you were able to get an entry, and again, we would place our stop beneath the low of that doji candle, which is about the 62.20 area, so maybe call it 62.05. The next chart is the Euro Swiss, and not much has changed here. Still just waiting for prices to come down and test the long-term support line formed by the mid-October low as well as the late March low right here. And right now prices are about 100, 125 pips above that line. So again, this is a line we could just keep up on our charts and monitor over the next 24 to 48 hours. Again, my name is Matt Russell. Thank you for listening, and please stay tuned for a preview of the DailyFX forums. I want to go ahead and formally welcome everybody to the DailyFX forum. And I want to explain a little bit about the forum and the wealth of information that you can obtain from the forum and how to go about doing so, how to find the things you want. So I'm just going to dive right in right now. And this is DailyFX.com, and this is usually how I navigate my way towards the forums. Obviously, you know, it really depends on each individual how they access the forums, but this is how I go ahead and do it. I go DailyFX.com, go ahead and click on the forum on top, and this brings you to the DailyFX forum homepage, and this highlights the most recent posts with the subject. So if you see anything that you're interested in, you can obviously go ahead and click. What I like to do is click on the forums tab like this, and go ahead and view the forums in the normal, typical way that forums are set up. And here you go. There are a bunch of threads down here. And I'm just going to go ahead and go directly to the forum, the video you just viewed, where you viewed it. So let's go ahead. This is the DailyFX Instructor Tips Forum, identifying trades with DailyFX. That's me. Go ahead and click on the most recent post. So this is where you are right now viewing the video, although the video will be the video beneath this one that you're watching right now. So normally when I'm on the forums, and what I would do is just scroll up to the top. Certainly you can check out any of my previous videos, and you know, especially if I did mention them in the report or in the video that you're viewing at that moment. And what I will do is go ahead and click on the forums, and then look for the forums that I like, you know, that I have interest in. One of them would be the Euro Dollar forum, and this, again, it's really up to each individual trader as to exactly how they want to use the forum. Personally, what I like to do, the first thing I do is I'll go to the Euro Dollar thread, I'll go and click on the latest post. And what I'll do here is, and again, I just want to, you know, really emphasize this point. It depends on your exact mindset when you're viewing. And me as a trader, I have some experience. So what I do and how I personally use the forum is I go through and I'll read what people are saying about the euro, what their trade ideas are. I certainly, you know, try to maintain my own individual objectivity, and I really don't pay much attention to what other traders are saying in terms of my trading. I'm not going to certainly see something on a forum and then go jump into a trade, but what it will do, it will open my eyes to certain trading opportunities, maybe a certain line or a certain time frame that I haven't looked at before. So that's one way that I personally like to utilize the DailyFX forum. But certainly for newer traders, there are plenty of topics that you can go over. Let's say you might not be well versed in terms of certain currency pairs that you want to learn about. Scalping, you might not know what Elliott wave is. You can go ahead and click there and see exactly what you can understand, what you might not understand, and then certainly feel free to ask questions about any of these topics that you have. Maybe the carry trade, maybe you have some questions about that, or the sentiment, the SSI, or the latest economic news, FX programmers, the webinars, MT4. Any questions about active trader, you can go ahead and click on those threads. So again, it's very free, very open, and there is a wealth of information here and just waiting to be utilized. Again, this is Matt Russell. Thank you for listening.